Hi guys, and welcome to a kind of a special video today. I wasn't really, the sort of ideas kind of just popped into my head. I know I've got a lot of sort of requests to do certain reviews of books and that, but I will get around to reviewing those as soon as possible. And I just want to say thank you for all the comments and the response to the videos I've recently uploaded. It's really made my day, and a lot of the comments are just really nice, and even though there may not be an awful lot of comments, it's still nice that people are actually still watching my videos after I've been away God knows how many months. But yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for all the comments and support. It's been really nice, really appreciate it. So yes, so this video is going to be a Doctor Who comparison of the Human Nature Virgin New Adventure, which I read whilst I was on holiday, compared to the actual television adaptation. See, what the difference is, and I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in wondering how does it compare. And for those who didn't know, basically the story behind this is Russell T Davies thought that the story was so good. I thought, right, I'm not going to touch this again because it was so good. But it wasn't until Series 3 that it was made into a televised story with the 10th Doctor, and yeah, it's very. I think it's. I agree with Russell T Davies. I think it's a fantastic story, really well written. The characters are brilliant. The characterization of John Smith, I think, is fantastic, and of course this book features Sylvester McCoy because this is part of the Virgin New Adventures line, and the televised story featured the 10th Doctor. This video will probably contain spoilers, but if you don't care about that because you've watched the television episode, then fair enough. But the book's very different from what you see on TV, because there are just so many things in there. Like, there are a lot more characters, there are a lot more scenes, and there's a lot of stuff going on basically, and the battle and the family of blood, which you see when the Doctor's holding the gun, that sort of lasts longer, but that's not even in the. I don't think it's not even in the book. I don't think the Doctor John Smith holds a gun in the book, but yeah. So I'm going to just do like a little comparison. I've got like a load of notes on my phone, and I'm just going to read them. These are the notes which I sort of wrote down whilst I was reading the book, because I think I'll just remember it easier that way. So yes, I'll give you a quick review of the book first, and you're probably thinking, why haven't you got the History Collection edition? Basically, the reason is because I bought this a couple of years before it came out. If you watched one of my old videos, you'll know that I did like a collection update, sort of unboxing kind of thing, and this was featured in it, and I was a bit annoyed that they actually decided to re-release it, because then I thought, oh, I just could have got that when it came out, because it was one that I was really interested in, and I've only literally just got around to reading it, and I can tell you it didn't disappoint. So yeah, the cover looks really nice. You've got Timothy Dean. He's actually called Timothy Dean, not Tim Latimer, for some reason. I don't know why they decided to change the name of Tim, his second name anyway. But yeah, you've got John Smith there, and it's written by Paul Cornell. Human Nature by Paul Cornell. It's roughly 350 pages, so it's about the size of a new series book, roughly, just a bit longer. So yeah, here's the blurb, logo, and little information about Paul Cornell. So the blurb is, who's going to save us this time? April 1914, the inhabitants of little Norfolk town of Farringham are enjoying an early summer, unaware that war is on the way. Amongst them is Dr. John Smith, a short middle-aged history teacher from Aberdeen. He's having a hard time with his new post as housemaster at Hulton Academy for Boys, a school dedicated for producing military officers. Bernie Summerfield is enjoying his holiday in the town, getting over the terrible events that befell her in France. But then she meets a future Doctor, and things start to get dangerous very quickly, with the Doctor she knows gone, and only a sufferer I'm not sure how I pronounce that, suffragate, and an elderly company. Can Benny fight off a vicious alien attack, and will Dr. Smith be able to save the day? So yeah, if you want to pause this little bit about Paul Cornell, you can, and just gives a little bit of information about the book. The actual page length, if I can find it, is roughly, where is it? Yeah, 255 pages, so it's about the average size of a new series book. So now I'm going to give you like a little comparison of televised story in the book. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. It might be quite a long video, which means it'll probably take a hell of a long time to upload. So yes, the main sort of thing is that with the family, in the televised story, it's never really mentioned where they're from. But if you want to know where they're from, they are from the planet Orbris. And instead of 4 members of the family, there's actually 5 in the novel. And they've got really weird alien names. So one's called August, one is called Green Eye, the 3rd member's called Laylock, the 4th member's called Aphasia, I think, who is the young girl of the character. And then you got Hoff at the bottom. So, like I said, Tim's name isn't Tim Latimer, it's Timothy Dean. I'm not sure why, like I said, I don't know why they changed it. Nurse Redfern is actually a science teacher and not the matron or nurse, or whatever you want to call her. In the book, there's a scene where Bernice meets the 10th Doctor, but she's actually, the 10th Doctor is actually Green Eye in disguise. Weird how they chose to make him disguised as the 10th Doctor, and then, of course, in 2007, the story actually features the 10th Doctor. Very, very weird. So yeah, that's Green Eye in disguise. There's, like I said, a lot more characters in the book than there are in the televised version. There's a scene in the book where Tim is actually hanged by his classmates. I'm not joking. They basically get his neck and they wrap it in some rope and they chuck him out the window, and of course he hangs. And so at that point he's actually dead, and they drag him back in, and they leave him on the bed where he usually sleeps in the dormitory, but of course he's dead. They tell the teachers that he's actually really ill, and then whilst the other boys are out playing or doing whatever, like shooting with a military gun, Tim becomes infected with the Doctor's Time Lord DNA, and basically he gains a second heart and a respiratory bypass system, and he basically comes back to life, like literally after his classmates leave him and hang him. So it's, you can see why they didn't include that in the television version, because I think that would have been just a bit much for the new series, and there probably been a lot of complaints as well. And of course, during the scene where the Doctor gives Martha the instructions, it's the same in the book. The Doctor gives Bernice a list of instructions of what what and not to do, like little warnings. And there's a bit where in the televised story, the Doctor says, "Don't give me pears," or something like that. "I hate pears," and it's exactly the same in this book. So it's quite a bit of nice comic relief there. And like I said, a load of more characters. There's even a character called Mr. Moffat, and he's described as quite fairly small, with black curly hair and with a Scottish accent. So you can probably realise who that's based off. When I was reading it, I thought, oh my god, he's based off Stephen Moffat, because it's quite common when people write their books, they usually sometimes base the character names of one of their friends. So I assume that Paul was very good friends with Stephen Moffat. So yeah, I mean, it's very different. I think both versions are fantastic. If you haven't got the book of Human Nature, I mean, I would highly recommend it. It's a very, very good read. I loved it so much. I've only read about 2 Virgin New Adventures. I've read Shakedown and Human Nature, so that's 2 I've read now. Obviously, I've still got a hell of a lot to go until I've read the whole bloody Virgin New Adventures range, because there's about 60 odd books, and that's going to take me a very, very long time to do all that. Yeah, I think ratings, I'm probably going to give it an 8 for both versions. I really, really enjoyed them. I think they are fantastic. I highly recommend you pick up the History Collection edition of this, or if you're sad and like me, and you like the original releases, then do whatever. I mean, it's up to you. They may have changed some of the swear words in the most recent edition, because there is a couple of swear words in this book, so they may have changed. I don't know what the difference is between the 2. It might be just little changes like that, but yeah, that's pretty much my little comparison. There's probably a lot more I could go through, but it would take me probably 2 videos to do that. So there's just some of the things that I wanted to, the sort of the main bits really, because the other little bits are just sort of probably wouldn't really care about. But all I'm going to say is definitely pick this one up because it's fantastic. But if you haven't watched Human Nature and Family of Blood, and you've just recently got into Doctor Who or whatever, then you're in for a treat, because it's one of my favourite stories. And this DVD alone I think is great, because it's got 3 really, really good stories. So yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was insightful, and should you ever go on to buy the book or watch the story again, then I really recommend it, because both versions are absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you guys next time for, I don't know, probably a book review I reckon. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.